Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews, stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs. Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. Keep following the leader. Follow 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 the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
Don't you driving me insane, just stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
We all have different ways of dealing with stressful circumstances. Maybe you like to go to the gym and work out, or maybe you like to turn the music up in your car and sing along to the radio when you're stressed out. Either way, these two types of coping mechanisms are good and healthy, since they aren't harmful to you or others. But there are some unhealthy coping mechanisms that you might have due to stress that can be harmful to you and or other people. With that said, here are 5 common unhealthy coping mechanisms that you shouldn't ignore. Number 1, forced positivity. I'm sure you've heard the term good vibes only. This statement and its accompanying sentiments have become part of our societal culture. Of course, there is nothing wrong with having a positive mindset. Positivity can be a pretty powerful tool when you want to manifest that in your life. However, the notion of only positive vibes have been taken to the extreme. Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity does not come from a place of genuine happiness. It comes from a place of denial, invalidation, or minimization. It's an attempt to display a positive disposition at all times, even when you're not in the best of moods. It's usually so excessive that the toxic positivity phrases are obvious. Some examples of toxic positivity are, don't think about it, be positive. Everything will work out in the end. If I can do it, so can you. Or it could be worse. When you force yourself to be positive at all times, you're barring and repressing your emotions, which can lead to doubt, shame, and relational problems with others. Sometimes life just sucks, and no amount of positivity can fix it. It's all right to be angry, jealous, annoyed, or deeply upset about things. The good and the bad emotions are all part of being human. Number 2, isolating yourself. For now, being socially distant is our safest option, but there are other ways you might be isolating yourself without realizing it. Socially isolating yourself simply because you don't like the people who are around you is not a healthy habit. This can make it harder for you to relate to others overall when you do something like this. As a species, we are social creatures, and we crave and need proper connection with other people. You can learn a lot from the people around you. When you connect with others in a healthy manner through supportive conversations and good, healthy talks, you're allowing yourself to grow emotionally and mentally. Fostering your mental resilience can be helpful when times of stress do arise. If you feel anxious in social situations, try going to an event with someone you know, or reach out to a professional therapist who can teach you techniques to reduce the stress you feel caused by social situations. Number 3, fatalism. When something bad happens, our brains immediately embellish the event. That makes it seem like it's the worst possible thing to have ever happened to you. It's a mental trait that has kept humans alive for millions of years, so the same mistakes won't be repeated in need of survival. However, in our modern-day society, it functions as a self-defense mechanism. You prepare for the worst, just in case, but this behavior might be causing you more stress than necessary. High levels of stress can lead to severe mental and physical health problems, like depression and even heart disease. A tool to help overcome this need to catastrophize would be to allow yourself to think of the 5 top worst outcomes, and then ask yourself how likely they are to actually happen. If you feel like a bad outcome is truly likely, then plan for that one outcome. Create a plan that is flexible and doable in case it needs to change.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building live from KBLA Talk 1580, which is in the heart of Lamert Park. And as is commonplace for this show, buckle up. We got to have a real conversation tonight. Can we normalize being in a relationship with a human being? I'm tired of being in a relationship with a persona. Right? I'm really tired. I don't want to be in a relationship with your personality. I want to be in a relationship with you. And everything that comes with you. Right? I want to be in a relationship with a human being, right? And I think it's very difficult to do so because I would say 99.99999% of all people are in a tumultuous, challenging, and uncomfortable relationship with themselves. Even our social media becomes an extension of our personality. Now, the word personality comes from the Greek word persona, or the Latin word persona. And the word actually and literally means mask. Mask. This is why when those closest to us hurt us, or betray us, or do something that we label as unpredictable, i.e. out of pocket, we look at these people as if, who are you? I never knew you. That's because you were in a relationship with a personality. So tonight's topic, we're going to dig deep. And it's important that we dig deep. Do you know why it's important do you know why I'm always putting the shovel in the proverbial dirt when it comes to relationships? The reason why I do this is because so many of us have not been conditioned to live with the flaws within ourselves and parenthetically live with the flaws of the people who come into our lives. So many people will be quick to parrot Zoe Williams or Krishnamurti or anyone else who says relationship is a mirror, but when that mirror reflection shows up in their life, they jump right to victimization. Right? I didn't sign up for this. I don't deserve this. I deserve better. Right? And then when you watch what's being said on the internet from, these relationship people talking, all of the statements are imbalanced. When somebody shows you who you are, believe them. That is a two-way street. I love and respect our elder, Sister Maya Angelou, but that is a dyadic statement, or it has a dyadic meaning. When somebody shows you who you are, you should believe them too. Do you understand? Right? You should believe them. See, when the truth comes from outside yourself, you're already set up to distrust it. The reason being is it's coming from the outside. You don't know how you know. Oh, but the truth always can come from the outside. You know how? Through the mirror of relationship. Do you understand? Listen, healing, just like self-realization, just like self-actualization, is a lifelong process. But because we got Twitter fingers, because we have access to social media, we can extend the image from interpersonal relationships to the relationships we cultivate online. The mask has a presence online. You can post happiness now. You can post contentment. You can post deep quotes. But the reality of the matter is, this work is ongoing. And if you're really dedicated to the work, you really shouldn't have social media. You don't have time. Everything is a distraction, really. So tonight's topic. You are what you repress. Oh, Lord. You are what you repress. And all of us are repressing something. Whether it be from childhood, whether it be from past relationships, everybody's repressing something. You know why? Because the human mind is wired to move away from that which is uncomfortable to that which is pleasurable. But if I get on here as a work in progress with my own flaws and say, hey, the pursuit of pleasure is in fact the pursuit of pain, because you can't separate them. If I get on here with my flawed tail and come in here and say, okay, yes, you can leave any situation you want. You can bounce from any situation you want. But until you reconcile the troubled relationship with yourself, all a breakup really is a rebound, a reset, a reconfiguration of a lesson you haven't graduated from. That's all it is. You are what you repress. Huh? What connections can be made between repression and whole self-neglect? If your mama neglected you as your primary caregiver, you develop a maladaptive attachment style. Dismissive avoidant, anxious preoccupied, fearful avoidant / disorganized. There's a strong chance you develop a maladaptive attachment style which follows you into adulthood. Boom. Okay? If your mama did that to you. Now, peep game. What happens if you do that to you? What connections can be made between repression and whole self-neglect? What are some unintended consequences and outcomes of FIGO and repression. Fear and ego-fueled repression. My ego causes me to repress. My fear causes me to repress. Can ruminating over repression, are y'all listening tonight? Do you understand the significance of tonight's topic? The fact that we don't have this conversation is part and parcel the reason behind so many people didn't understand Kendrick's diss records. He done been to therapy, as have I. He has been to therapy, and he took that to the record. Do you understand? Is repression a result of addiction to self-imposed shame and guilt? Furthermore, how do these addictions contribute to the breakdown of relationship dynamics? How does your relationship with your inner authority contribute to your desire to repress emotional, spiritual, and psychological wounds? To what extent does societal conditioning play a role in shaping our tendencies towards repression? Listen, Carl Jung was big on this, right? You hear us talk about the ego a lot, right? But let's go to Carl Jung's teacher, Sigmund Freud. Many people hated Sigmund Freud. He started off great. Then he started to hypersexualize children when he started talking about his sex stuff. You know, the little boy wants to kill the father and marry the mama. The little girl, wants to replace the mama and marry the father. Like, people started backing away. Even his students was like, nah, we good. Carl Jung said, let me step off. But he brought up something that was very interesting. The id, the superego, and the ego. The id, these desires to have it right now. The id says, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. Don't we live in that society right now? We're living in an id-based society. I can have what I want right now. I'm going to do it right now. I don't have to answer to nobody. That's the id. Then you have the super ego, the moral base. Too much of either one of those creates an imbalance. Self-righteousness comes out of the moral side. Your ego is in the middle trying to synthesize the two. What in the hell are you repressing? And how long do you think you can do it before relationship exposes you? When I come forward, the voice of reason will continue this most august discussion.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one. Let's bring them back. Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
How the Deepak say, hey, hey, hey! What you do? Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. With KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cow-cruise-news.com. That's cow-cruise-news.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk
1580. Tell me what you got. Let me sit my corner side, you stop and hit the jackpot. Rev me up, my little buttercup. Touch sheet, snuggle up and get stuck. Believe it or not, here comes a brother with glow. A snuggling, bubbling, overweight, loving, hurting pro. What's it gonna be? Me or the TV? Let's take time to set your mind and your body free. So watch you just stretch, floor set. Lay while the bottle so I can cop a quick whack. Shake me, baby, bake me. No need to fake, here I am, come on and take me. Wind your body, baby, move your body. I see you slip sliding, come on and do it, honey. I'm not quite sure as to what is going down, but I'm feeling hunky-dory about to see what I can find.
Renowned psychologist Carl Jung once said, "Until we are able to make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That's the value of self-awareness. The more aware we become of our own flaws, struggles, and shortcomings, the better we are at adapting, evolving, and flourishing in life. But introspection can be scary, because it forces us to confront things about ourselves and our past we may not know how to deal with. But as they always say, the first step to overcoming any problem is to acknowledge it. And the same is true for a lot of emotional baggage we still carry with us today. So if you'd like to take that first step, here are some of the most common types of coping mechanisms and how they relate to certain types of traumatic experiences.
There's been a huge decline in mental health around the world, which is why we're so committed to creating more content than we ever have. Thanks for being a part of our journey.
Number 1, abuse, exploitation. Have you ever had someone you trusted purposefully hurt, abuse, or take advantage of you? Have you ever been humiliated, cheated on, lied to, or manipulated by someone you once considered a friend or a loved one? For most people who have had and still have unhealed trauma because of this, their coping mechanism is likely to mistrust or always be suspicious of other people and their intentions. Does this sound like you? Number 2, abandonment. Whether it was a parent who walked out on you, a romantic partner who ghosted you out of the blue, or growing up in the system and moving around from one family to another, experiences of being abandoned, especially at a young age, can easily leave us with lasting emotional damage. They often erode our sense of self-worth and negatively impact our view of others as well. So if you have a deep-seated fear of abandonment,
it's most likely that your coping mechanism is to keep people at an emotional distance and leave before you get left. Number 3. Emotional deprivation. Similar to the last point, even if the significant people in your life are physically and actually there for you, their emotional neglect and deprivation can be just as traumatizing too. Were they never attentive or affectionate towards you? Did they deprive you of empathy, understanding, and emotional connection? Did you often feel alone and unsupported? Experiences of emotional deprivation often lead to an over-reliance on oneself and inability to ask for help.
Are y'all listening to the coping mechanisms? Do you do any of this? Listen to me. I'm urging you. I'm pleading with you. Please, anybody who's within the sound of my voice, please hear this. Relationships are designed to heal what you modeled as a child. That is the spiritual purpose. Listen, you shouldn't. It's toxic to live with mistrust. It's toxic to live with a worthiness wound. It's toxic to live with a mother wound. It's toxic to live with a father wound. It's toxic to live with a maladaptive attachment style. It's toxic to live that way. We have learned through conditioning to survive, to make a way. Can repressed emotions manifest physically in the body, leading to various health issues? Of course. But we've learned to live that way. Relationships are designed. They are spiritually designed for you to untangle the knots that were knitted into you while you were in the womb and when you came out. When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to the phone lines. Let's talk about it.
Get them up one time.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is unhappy that another child has died in the city due to gun violence. The mayor talked about the shooting death of 3-year-old Taya Settles, calling it tragic. Bowser, who is black, said she has had to talk about gun deaths so many times that she sounds like a broken record. She added that D.C. residents have to say enough is enough when it comes to ending gun violence. Authorities are offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a suspect in the child's death. The judge in former President Trump's classified documents case is indefinitely postponing the trial start date. The judge cited a failure to resolve outstanding pretrial litigation about how the classified documents would be used during the trial. The trial was to start in late May, but now will likely be delayed until after the election. Trump is accused of illegally keeping and storing government documents that he should have returned after his time in office. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing experts.
KBLA Talk 1580. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews, stimulating conversations, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs. Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Do
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV. City of Los Angeles tenants, verify your Emergency Renters Assistance Program status today if you applied for the program. Tenants approved for rental assistance are protected from eviction for non-payment of rent through May 31st, 2024. And it's illegal under law for landlords to refuse rental assistance to you based on your source of income. Refusing assistance can be used as an affirmative defense in an eviction case. So check your application status now at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home. Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I know you want lots of Jews and stuff. Backyards with swimming pools, bars with stools and stuff, fancy food. Pasta, sushi, yeah, Versace, Gucci, crazy Lucci. I know you ever, you do never want a paycheck. You get a herd from the burger, show them no respect. Middle name, price tag, first name, gotcha. Start a smoke out on the road, now they can't stop you. Talking about, hey boo, how you do? Some clown uptown said you ran through his mistaken. Dining and dining, I ain't chicken on no chicken. Leave it up to me, I close the whole damn store on you. I got nothing but love for you.
What you got?
I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
Repression is where you unconsciously block unacceptable thoughts as a coping mechanism. You're not aware of and don't accept the thought that you're blocking. For example, let's say I mistakenly call my husband by his brother's name. I make that slip because I have a repressed romantic desire for his brother and wish he were my husband. I would never admit this or even believe that it's true because that desire is so wrong to me that my mind blocks it from my awareness until the thoughts pop into my dreams. But I digress.
Wowzer. Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR is in the house. We on fire tonight, KBLA Talk 1580, the VOR, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Thursday with the fire replay on Friday. You already know what it is. Tonight's topic. Sheesh. This is not a lightweight topic. Not in any way, shape, or form. We are what we repress. Let's get deeper. Do you know why unconditional love doesn't exist for most people? Because they haven't cleaned out the storehouse of their subconscious. If you got any childhood wounds in you, your love has limits. Your love will be performance-based. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But that is the absolute truth. Where there is an unhealed wound, there is a blockage to blue magic love. Unconditional. I mean, the love that God has. They say, oh no, let's go back to the ancients, and you know, there's eros, and then there's agape, and then there's. Listen, those were hurt people writing those words. Don't use those words as if those words are the gospel. There's eros, there's physical love, and the love of sex, and then there's agape, the love of God, the unconditional. You can't stratify love. It either is or it's not. You know why? The mountain is either there or it isn't. Do you understand? Love is a foundational reality that many of us, that few of us, have direct access to. Where there is repression, there will be a love blockage. This is why most of us are in relationships right now tolerating each other. Right? Ask yourself. This is why. Tell me I'm lying. You got relationship specialists out there talking about, you only got so many times to apologize. I mean, how many times am I supposed to forgive you? Totally incongruent with the Bible. Bible said forgive 400 sometimes. Jesus said what? 7 times, 7 times, 7 times. What? Oh, but you Christian. Okay, cool. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm simply saying we don't have a thorough enough understanding of anything, but yet we have an anecdotal answer for everything. Repression is a concept that has been explored by many prominent psychologists and theorists throughout history, including Carl Jung, Erik Erikson, Sigmund Freud, Dr. David R. Hawkins, M.D., and Ross Rosenberg. These experts have all delved into the idea that repressing certain aspects of ourselves can have a profound impact on our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. On tonight's topic, we will attempt to explore the intricate connections between repression and neglect of the whole self. The unintended consequences of ignoring our repressed emotions. The role of repression in redirecting attention away from self-repression, the addiction to shame and guilt that fuels repression, and how our relationships with our inner authority plays a role in our desire to repress emotional, spiritual, and psychological wounds. One of the key connections that can be made between repression and neglect of the whole self is the idea that we repress certain aspects of ourselves. When we repress certain aspects of ourselves, we are essentially cutting off parts of who we are. This can lead to a fragmented sense of self and a lack of integration of our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. When we neglect certain parts of ourselves, we are not allowing ourselves to fully experience and express our true nature. Listen, if the self is conditional, how can it access unconditional love? If you yourself are repressed and compartmentalized and locked away from you, how can you experience unconditional love? You're a faker and a liar. This is why you put a premium on performance. I'm talking to the world. I'm talking to myself. Are y'all listening tonight? I know it don't feel good to hear it this way, but that's what it is. And you're hoping that you can fake it until you make it. I'm going to fake it until I make it to happiness. I'm going to fake it until I make it to contentment. Hopefully, I can sneak all these wounds past my significant other's central nervous system and spirit. You can't sneak a wound past somebody's spirit, because your wound is your significant other's spirit's twin flame, soulmate. They've been waiting their whole lives to meet you and your wounds. I know you're not ready to hear it. Just because it's repressed doesn't mean it's gone. Oh, my goodness. When we come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. And we're all over the country right now, coast to coast. I'm going to the phone lines. You need to tap into tonight's conversation.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number and put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible.
Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. For KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you and the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Water your order. Get your favorite quarter so you can sort of sport the new border. From the overweight lord of loving. Brothers give respect because I give respect to brothers and others on the agenda. Try to remember, I can rock a party from September to September. Meaning all year round. I can throw down for sound round for round pound for pound. Now, I'm a big charge, still living large. I'm not soft as the moth, soft as the barge. I'm a giant, a major, applying to the industry. They are the boys, and I ain't MC heavy. Now I'm a flip, cause the flip is the trick. Later on I'm a rip, cause the rip is legit. Now I'ma go up, show up, blow up, and make you hold up a sign. Saying heavy dudes big time.
Defense mechanisms are the brain's way of keeping us safe from being fully aware of unpleasant thoughts and feelings. Sometimes, we can choose to use certain defense mechanisms like suppression, denial, and rationalization. Below is a list of 10 of the most common defense mechanisms. 1. Displacement. The diversion of emotions, such as anger, from the original source to a substitute target. For example, your friend says something hurtful, and instead of confronting your friend, you later lash out at your sister. 2. Projection. The projection of one's own feelings, thoughts, or motives onto someone else. For example, the person who is cheating is under the impression that their partner is cheating on them. 3. Rationalization. Developing false or plausible excuses to justify irrational and/or unacceptable behavior. For example, stealing from a corporate chain store, such as Best Buy, and justifying the theft by saying, they make millions in profit, so it doesn't matter. 4. Reaction formation. Behaving in a way opposite to how you feel. For example, when a person is romantically attracted to someone, but adamantly claims that they dislike the someone. 5. Regression. Reverting to childlike patterns of behavior. For example, a student gets a bad grade on their test and screams and cries at their parents or teacher. 6. Repression, denial. Pushing or burying thoughts and feelings that are distressing into the subconscious. For example, an addict will deny they have an addiction because they can function fine at work and at home. An example of repression would be a person who witnesses a crime being unable to remember the event. 7. Sublimation. The refocusing of unacceptable impulses, thoughts, and/or emotions into more acceptable ones. For example, a person who is experiencing aggressive impulses instead challenges that energy into rigorous exercise. 8. Dissociation. The detachment from reality and from oneself, and the finding of another representation of self to cope with extreme stress or conflict. The person who uses dissociation as a defense mechanism disconnects from reality and lives in their own world, in which they do not experience unbearable thoughts, feelings, or memories for a period of time. 9. Intellectualization. Overthinking and the misdirection of focus when confronted with unacceptable situations, behaviors, or impulses. For example, a person who has been told a close family member has died begins to focus on and overthinks the details of planning a funeral, etc., instead of expressing their grief. 10. Compensation. The counterbalancing of perceived flaws or weaknesses by instead emphasizing strengths. For example, a person says they can't draw, but they're really good at dancing. What defense mechanisms do you use? Share your thoughts with us below.
Oh my God, the top 10 was crazy. Now be honest. Have you done any of them? Think about the question I asked before we came forward and then came full circle. Can you experience unconditional love with repression? Listen to what I'm saying. These defense mechanisms, these wounds, they're created by wounds, right? Unhealed childhood wounds. They're created by that. Do you not recognize that those unhealed wounds are the authors of your expectations, of your defense mechanism, of your self-protective strategy? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying you're wrong for having had to do that. But if you want unconditional love, you got to get the conditions out your spirit. The way you get the condition. This is what Krishnamurti was talking about when he said freedom from the known. Your known is wounded. You've never been free in a relationship. You think being free in your relationship is getting what you want, being satiated, being satisfied, not being irritated. Do you understand? Oh, we got callers on the line. I get so excited about these topics because it's so clear to me. I want us all to experience unconditional love. Love without residue. The residue of psychological bondage, psychological baggage, old hurts and wounds. I want us to love in the vacuum of now. Not in the pining for the future or the dread for the past. I want us all to be able to love on the living canvas of right now. Free, unencumbered by any fear, any doubt, any speculation. Go back to my older shows. You hear me saying trust, which is important for every relationship, is rooted in fear. You hear me saying loyalty. So many people, you got to be loyal. That's because you're wounded. And you've repressed it. And you're coping. If you're coping, you're surviving. You're not thriving if you're coping. Does that make sense? This stuff gets in your body. There is a psychosomatic connection. Okay. Sean, Oakland, California, get in here.
Brother Zoe, you always do this, right? Which is you get right to it. So I'm going to just go to the core of what you were talking about, like with the positivity that, I think that's an escape for a lot of people. They just want to be, hey, I can't handle anything negative in the house, blah, blah, blah. I have to have positivity. But that, makes sure that you're not going to confront the actual things that are not positive. And I'll tell you what, you've been through a ton of stuff, and I've been through a ton of stuff, and in the house, you have to have a balance. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say. The thing I'm going to say is that you have to understand in your relationship that everyone is going to have some of these negative things coming through. When there's a real serious crisis, which everyone's going to have to go through. You've gone through them, Zoe. I've gone through them. A crisis is a different level of negativity. And you have to take the bull by the horns. So when there's anything below that, right, you can say, I take care of that. I'll take care of that as a person. I'm saying one person or the other. You take care of that because that's going to reduce negativity. But there's never going to be a perfect positivity in your house. That's just the nature of life.
Oh, that was a bomb. There's never going to be a perfect positivity in your house.
Never.
That was a bomb, Sean. Man, guess what you just did with that right there, bro?
Brother, Oakland, I love you, bro.
We love you, man. Oakland in the building. There will never be a perfect positivity in your house. Listen, when we come forward, Lord have mercy, the phone lines are cracking. Get in here if you want to talk about it. We got Houston, we got Miami, and the phones are ringing. Let's get it.
Delightful, overweight, another MC. Properly to ego audacity. The original, that's why there's no apostrophe S. Cause I have been blessed to impress. And then I suggest that you invest your money and time to my digest. You prefer me because I'm more than less. And I've been blessed like a bag of Buddha steps. You know what comes next? I'm big time.